Okay, ladies, for this tutorial, you received the Be Kind file, and we're going to create this design. You are welcome to do the exact same thing. I'll show you how I got the bee, the heart, and all the elements that I added to it, and where you can find your elements and be creative with yours, or you can follow along and use the same elements that I used. Okay, so I'm going to go to the one that I've already got ready for me to do in this tutorial. So what we're going to do is we have our Be Kind file right here. So I'm going to rename this Be Kind outline file, and then we're going to turn on reference, and we're going to add a layer above it, and we're going to do our color fill. So make sure add automatic and color fill is on. Pick you a color besides black and start dropping in each one. That way you have just the outline or the inner part filled, and you have your outline here. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a layer, and I'm going to turn that into a clipping mask above our color fill layer. And I'm going to find the background that I used in the other design. And I'm going to just bring that over, and I'm going to place that in Be Kind. Just like that. Okay? So now I have that completed. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my color fill layer, and I'm going to duplicate. And my duplicate layer underneath here, I'm going to hit my magic wand, bring the brightness down, and I'm going to click off my magic wand and click back on, and I'm going to hit Gaussian blur, and I'm going to blur it up to about 5%, and I'm going to click off, hit my select tool, and I'm going to just bring a shadow down, just to add a shadow behind Be Kind. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is, since I'm done with that part, I'm going to add a layer above. And what I did was I put all my elements on one page right here. And I can turn all of these off so you can see them better. I put all my elements on one page, and the elements I'm going to use are this right here, the bee, the honey pot, and then the honey drip. These two I did not use, so I'm going to erase those. But what I'm going to do, and you can do something like this, or you can do something easier. You can go over to Canva, click on Create a New Design, Custom Size, and I have mine set by 12 by 12. And you can go over here to Elements and type in B and hit select, see all, and that is where I found, I'm pretty sure, no, it's not this one. That is where I found my bee that I used for the original design, this one right here. So you can make it smaller. Oh, you can make it smaller, and you can add all your elements to one page, or we can just do it like this. So I'm going to use this bee. I'm going to find my honey pot that I used. And I'll probably have to type in honey. I believe that's how I found it. Why am I not seeing the honey pot I used? Let's see. Let me go back to my recently used. Okay, I know I used this flower. I know I used this flower. I know I used this. And I did erase the B once I got it over into, there it is. Once I got over into Procreate, these are all the elements that I use. So go through here in the elements and find what you would like to use. So I put them all on separate pages just for this tutorial. I'm going to hit share, download, transparent background, PNG, and hit download. And I'm going to hit save. Then I'm going to go back over here. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to bring these back up. Okay, and then I'm going to add a new layer, and I'm going to bring in one of my elements. So I'm going to start, I did forget one element. Let me go back and get it. I did forget one. I forgot the honey right here. Or no, the honeycomb. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete all these pages. That way I don't have to worry about having them on here anymore. Oop. Okay, and I'm just going to download this one. Okay, and as you see, this one failed to download. So some of the elements you have to add a little extra something to it. So I always go to my tools, my brush, and I just put a little red mark on there, and that will let me download it. And then once I go over to Procreate and I erase some things, I'll erase that red mark. So that let me save it. Okay, so what I'm going to put here first is I'm going to put the honeycomb there first, because that's where I have it placed in this position right here. And I did not want the flowers or the bees on this. So what I'm going to do is hit my erase tool. Make sure my eraser is at a good size where it doesn't erase a lot. Or erase my honeycomb. So I'm going to get rid of these. So if you want to download an element and then there's something on it that you don't want in your design, you can erase it. But you like the element, yeah, you can erase that. Okay, so I'm going to, now what I like to do is I like to put shadows behind things because it makes things pop better. So I'm going to duplicate that. The duplicate one, I'm going to bring down the brightness, and I'm going to click back on, and put a Gaussian blur behind it of 5%. And then I'm going to hit my select tool, and I'm just going to drag a shadow over a little bit, just like that. Okay, it just makes it pop better. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new layer, and I'm going to bring my bee over. And my bee I'm going to place right there on that honeycomb. I'm going to turn my snapping off, that way I can have control to move it around wherever I like. So I want it just like that. Okay, so I am going to add a shadow to the bee, but it will be a very light shadow because it is very thin. So I'm going to do 3%. The little legs and everything are thin, so I don't want it to be like, you know, too crazy of a shadow. So I'm just going to bring it down just a little bit, just to make it pop a little bit more. Okay, so now I'm done with my bee. I'm going to group that, and then my honeycomb, I'm going to group that. Just to keep all that together, I'm going to group these as well. Okay, so I'm going to add a new layer, and I'm going to bring over my honey drip. And with my honey drip, what I do, let me go back to this part, because what I do is I bring it and I can make it a clipping mask right above where I did the background clipping mask on Be Kind. So I want to add the honey drip to that. So I'm going to move that around to where I like it to be. And what I did, because as you can see, if I put it up too far, you can't really like see the honey drip that good. So what I do is I go to freeform and I just bring it up like that to where it's dripping from the top. And then I did erase this part of the drip and this part of the drip. Just like that. Okay. And we're done with that part. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new layer up top, and I'm going to bring over, I'm going to go ahead and bring over, I'm going to bring over my flower that I use for the eye. So I'm going to put that there. And I'm going to add or duplicate it. I'm going to bring that brightness down. I'm going to hit Gaussian blur, and I'm going to blur it up to about 5%. And then I'm going to bring that shadow down just a little bit. Just like that. So our design is coming together really nicely. Okay, so let's group that flower together. You can either group it or merge it if you're done with it. Okay, so the next thing that I want to do is add a new layer. And I want to go ahead and bring over, let's go ahead and bring over our honey. And I put my honey jar right here beside the D, just like that. Gonna do the same thing, add a shadow behind it, turn that brightness down, click off, click back on, Gaussian blur, and 5%. And I'm just going to bring the shadow over just a hair, just like that. And then now I'm gonna group those together, and underneath, I'm gonna add a layer above, but I'm gonna pull it underneath the jar here, and I'm going to add my flowers because I want my flowers to be behind the jar, just like that. Just like that right there. And this time I'm going to duplicate, I'm going to turn that brightness down, but I'm not going to move the shadow. I'm just going to put a shadow behind it, and as you can see, it does make it pop a little bit more. So I'm just going to leave it just like that. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to group these, and I'm going to add a layer. And in this one, I'm going to go ahead and bring over the heart. I guess you'd call it a beeline. I don't know. But with this, I don't like how it's positioned, so I'm going to flip horizontally. And I'm going to have this beeline start from over here where the flower pot is and go up here to where the bee is. And I'm going to bring that up just a little bit. And we're going to use the masking, the mask tool for this. But what I'm going to do is, threw my pencil. What I'm going to do is erase this bee, because I don't want that bee there. I want to place a bee just like this one. Let's find our bee. I'm going to go ahead and flatten it. I'm going to duplicate. I'm going to bring it up here above my bee line. And I'm going to take that new bee and I'm going to flip horizontally, bring it down in size, and I'm going to turn it just a little bit and place it right there. Okay, so now we're going to do our mask. Now, if you're not familiar with mask, if you have not, and you're new to the group and you have not watched the tutorial on masking, what you're going to do is when you have something that is overlapping things, but you want it to go in and out, this is what masking does. So what we're going to do with our beeline is we're going to duplicate, and you're going to take one of those duplicates and you're going to go to the very bottom. You're going to drag it to the very bottom, and then you're going to lock it. You're going to swipe and hit lock. Okay? Now what you're going to do is you're going to click on your one that is above everything, and you're going to hit mask. When you hit mask, you have this white layer that comes up, and then you have your beeline layer. So you're going to hit on, you're going to make sure this one is highlighted the brighter blue. You're going to click off, and your eraser should automatically come on. So what we're going to do, what masking is when you erase something, you're not erasing, you're only erasing up top. So you'll still have that on bottom. So let me do that again. So I want that gone because I don't want two on top of this. So, but it's still going to be your heart shape. Normally, if I didn't do anything, like if I didn't do masking, it would erase everything. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so I'm going to keep that there because I'm going to erase that. No, actually, I think I want to keep that. No, I'm going to erase that. And then I'm going to erase this one. And I'm going to erase that off of the eye. This part off of the N. And then this part off of the D. And this part off of the N. I'm going to take that one off of there. Make sure I'm satisfied. Okay, so as you can see, it goes under, over, under, over, over, and then it goes under, over, and then under. So that's how we want it. Okay, now for this bee, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to duplicate. I'm going to click on my duplicate layer. I'm going to bring that brightness down, click off, click back on, hit Gaussian blur, and I'm going to blur it up to, let's do 3% on that bee. And I'm not going to move the shadow. I'm just going to keep it there. Okay. So I believe that is the full design that I did. Let me go back and double check and make sure that is everything. Yep, that is everything. So that is exactly how you do this Be Kind design. But what I want you to do, if you do not want to do the bee design, then I want you to go over to Canva or Creative Fabrica. I want you to find you some elements, and I want you to be creative. Design it however you want to design it with your Be Kind outline, and share your pictures on the membership group. And I cannot wait to see them. I hope this tutorial wasn't too confusing. I hope I wasn't too fast. And that you are able to follow along and be creative and create your own Be Kind design.